I wanted to talk for a moment about depression and hearing loss. I saw somewhere with a big title someone talking about their depression and their hearing loss. And that actually is kind of common. Blindness in depression, hearing loss in depression, spinal cord injuries in depression. It's very common because it's traumatic. It's traumatic to begin to lose your hearing and the struggles to be able to communicate with other people, to struggle at your work with your hearing loss and not knowing what direction to go in. So the question is, which came first, the chicken or the egg? And that's something that's really important to kind of think about. Which one came first? And nobody can tell you exactly what came first, the chicken or the egg. Was it the depression and then the hearing loss, or was it the hearing loss and then the depression? Um, the bad news with this is that, and there is some good news, there are things that you can do. Along with depression comes anxiety. Usually they come hand in hand. So the more anxiety, the more stress you have is going to impact your hearing loss. And, that is not, it's not life-threatening. However, it is threatening because there is just a lot going on in your life. And the more stress you have, the more is going to impact your ability to be able to function and to hear. I'm going to give you a good example. It's a life example from myself. And I have bilateral cochlear implants. So I don't have any hearing. The cochlear implants do the work for me. But this is the example, even with cochlear implants. I was driving to go see a friend, and somehow a rock from somewhere hit the driver's side window, and it spooked me so much. I veered off the road and I drove into a Firestone garage, and they knew me there, and I just got out of the car. I was shaking from head to toe. And one of the employees who knew me came out and said, "Hey, Lisa, what's going on?" And he saw that I was shaking, and I said, my window just got broken by a rock that came from I don't know where. And so he said, "Are you okay? Why don't you come in and have some water?" And when he said all that, I just didn't hear it. The vision of the rock hitting my window was going through my mind. I couldn't hear him say, "Why don't you come in and sit down and have some water?" And I said, "I'm sorry, what did you say?" So he repeated it again, "Just come inside." So he just signaled me to come in because he knew I was hearing impaired. But that is a life experience of, your anxiety going from here to here, and, all of a sudden you can't communicate because of the anxiety, the spook, the incident that happens. So, it is a physical show of, what the body can do to you, if your anxiety gets out of control or your depression, gets out of control, it's going to affect your physical health, and that also includes your hearing. So, is it the end of the road? Absolutely not. A lot of people who are experiencing depression and are experiencing struggles to communicate and don't know where to go. First of all, your audiologists, hopefully they're good counselors, but they are trained to counsel you in regards to your hearing loss. Then if you need, longer term, you can connect with a counselor and just do the one-on-one with counseling. And that should flesh out, whatever, and figure out, what came first, the chicken or the egg. and talk about your personal life and heal some things, because you want to be healthy. Obviously, you want to feel good when you wake up in the morning. You want to feel good when you go to bed at night. And you can do that. And one of the biggest tools you have at your disposal is go to counseling. It doesn't mean you're crazy. No, it doesn't. It means that going to counseling, you are making a positive step to figure out, how can I handle these emotions? These emotions in me are very strong, and they're going to impact me long term if I don't get a handle on it. So it is, what I'm saying is it's not out of this world to have hearing loss and depression. It's pretty common, and you can go to counseling to get a hold of those emotions, and the audiologist can teach you all kinds of techniques to be able to communicate with your family, with your spouse, with your wife, with your sister, with your neighbors, people at work. So, and the audiologist is good for that. But the more deeper counseling, that would be with a therapist. So I'm hoping this is helpful. The fact that and you can say to your audiologist, I need you to teach me some techniques here and there so I can, do this. If you are at the point where you're at that line where hearing aids no longer help you, and they recommended cochlear implants, and you are freaking out about it, there's no need to freak out. I'm sorry, I chuckled there, but there's no need to freak out. They're very safe surgeries now. They're outpatient. And I need to do another video for post-surgery. But cochlear implant surgery is very, very safe, outpatient. You go in the morning, you're out by the afternoon, you're home, you're resting. In a week, you are up and about and doing fine. So, cochlear implants are not the end of the world. I'm talking to you right now. I'm fine. I have 2 cochlear implants, and I've had the surgery 3 times, and I've done really well. So, and long story on that. So if you watch my other videos, you'll hear the story as to what I went through. It's unique, so not everybody goes through what I went through. So usually you have one surgery, and then a few months later you have the other surgery, and you're done. You do have to do some therapy to rehear with a cochlear implant because it's different. The brain has to absorb the signals from the implant and be able to understand it and translate it in a way that you will understand speech again. So hearing aids is not the end of the road. Cochlear implants are certainly not the end of the road. It is certainly the beginning of a beautiful, adventurous life, and that's what cochlear implants give you. But if you need to talk about this, like, yes, hearing aids no longer work for me, and they have recommended cochlear implants, and I'm freaking out, and I want to talk to somebody, just let me know. We can communicate. There's a couple of people here, obviously, on the channel who have cochlear implants or are getting cochlear implants and know what the process is about. So what are your solutions? 1, for your audiologist to teach you some techniques. 2, to go to counseling with a psychotherapist and get a hold of those emotions. And 3, if hearing aids are no longer helping you and they've recommended cochlear implants, then look and see what that process looks like for you. So that is what I can recommend for anyone who has hearing loss and depression. And again, it's the chicken and the egg situation. You might have had depression before your hearing loss, and then the hearing loss came, and then that impacted your depression even more. So, or you began with hearing loss and things weren't working very well, and then you got depressed. So whichever way, it still needs to be handled. So, and I know you can do it. I know you can do it. So ask your questions. You know, tell your stories here down below, and we'll see where it goes. But we want you, anyone who is experiencing depression and hearing loss, to be able to express themselves here and to be able to get the help that they need. All right. Take care. Feel free to give us a like or to subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.